What are the various specialisms that USW provides, and what are the career opportunities, or which are the ones which are more in vogue at this point of time as compared to the ones that might not be that appealing?
We have a range of different specializations that students can follow. So the first is that students can remain on the general MBA Global program, and I might come back and say something about that in a moment. Students can choose a finance specialization, they can choose a specialization in supply chain management or marketing or HR, or we also offer a specialization in entrepreneurship. So students on those, the key thing which will differentiate is that students they undertake something we call a Capstone Project. And a Capstone Project is something very common in the US, it's becoming increasingly common in the UK, and it's essentially a project that students are set where the task is set by an industry partner. For example, for students that work on the finance specialization, the activity that they have been set is set by Barclays Bank. So staff from Barclays Bank have set the challenge for students to work on. It is a real activity that Barclays want an answer to, and the students work on that, and then they report back their recommendations. Students also seek placements in their specialist areas, so whether it's HR or supply chain management. In terms of which is the most popular, it's pretty hard to say, and it changes from one year to the next. So for example, I could say to you that this year, the two most popular are supply chain management and finance. But if I also say to you that in the UK, HR is one of the fastest growing sectors of employment. So for students that want to get work in the UK, or indeed globally, it's very clear that changes in the HR industry, it's a really good opportunity to have a specialization in that field. So students can specialize in a range of fields, including that entrepreneurship. That's designed for students who want to learn how to build a business, learn how to scale up a business, and indeed then learn how to seek funding for that business. USW has got the best record of any university in Wales for student startups. So there's lots of support for students who've got ideas about a business and want to scale it up. But just back on the general MBA Global, choosing that path is not because you can't think of which specialization. It's sometimes for a student who might want to have a foot in two different camps. So a student might want to think about maybe working in supply chain, maybe working in finance, and they're not necessarily fixed on the kind of company they want to work with, but they're going to see what opportunities emerge when they come to the UK and how we can best match their experience with a particular company.
So one thing, again, placements is something which is very central as far as the Indian diaspora is concerned, because they're spending a bit more compared to whatever premium colleges in India are offering when they're traveling to UK. So how is it that USW as a university looks at placements and looks at internships? If you can provide some insights, that will be helpful for students.
Well, the first thing I'd say is that we have a dedicated team that supports the MBA Global exclusively. So they can help with suggestions of companies with which students might work on an internship. They can also direct you towards opportunities for internships. So we have a team of staff that can support you to find internships. The second thing that I would say is that we get to know students very well as individuals. So the sooner you know this, that I get to meet students individually, it's really important for me to understand what a student's experience is, what his or her interests are, so that before they even come to the UK, we can think, we know someone who works in that sector that we can introduce you to before you come to the UK. So it's really important that the work that we do for internships, that it happens early. It doesn't wait until we get to the UK. We start that process much earlier. So almost as soon as students are onboarded at Lexicon, we're meeting with them individually so that we know where you want to work, what your interests are, and how we can help connect you to companies which can put you on an internship when you're with us in the UK.